This week, it is my absolute honour to interview Stephie Miley. Stephie is all kinds of wonderful. Most of you will know her because she's basically been in church since she's practically been a fetus.
Nearly, but yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Stephie, originally born in Wales and currently living here and have done since I was 6, so I've basically grown up in the church. I'm married to Liam and have been for just over a year now. I'm a qualified nurse who's near the end of her retraining to be a student midwife as well.
That is awesome. So, Steph, obviously growing up in church, you end up with a different set of experiences and complications. But do you want to just tell us briefly how you came to know Jesus?
I've always grown up in a Christian home. My parents were Christian, so I was kind of brought up in that. But it really kind of started to hit home when I was about 5, as young as that seems, at the kind of precursor to Transform, which was called Days of Destiny up in Harrogate. And I remember one day the person at the front going, if you feel like you want Jesus to be your friend and Jesus to kind of come in your life, then kind of put your hand up and we'll pray with you. And kind of from then it's been like an ongoing journey of discovering what mine and Jesus' relationship looks like. Because obviously your understanding of Jesus when you're 5 is very different to my understanding now as a 28-year-old. So
You had to think about what age you
I
were
know.
from, there, didn't you?
It's nearly my birthday, that's fine. Yeah, so I think being able to explore it for myself and my parents being supportive of me finding out for myself but not pushing me to be a Christian, like it was my own decision, so that when it came to wanting to be baptised at 16, it was like my decision to kind of show that I wanted to follow Christ for the rest of my life. So
That's awesome. So how would you say your faith affects your daily life now?
it's interesting because obviously being within the NHS, there's obviously some things you can and can't do, but I often find that wherever I've worked or whatever placements I've been on, there have been other Christians around me, or like the patients I look after have some sort of faith. It's been very strange. Like you kind of just pick up these cues, and with that you kind of can help show them that, yeah, like Christians aren't just these people who are in church, but actually we're like on the front lines helping people in our everyday lives. So I think knowing that this is the role that God's put me in kind of helps change how I view people and how I treat the patients that I'm involved with. So if someone's angry at me, I don't take it personally because I just think of them and try and think, how would I love them as Jesus would love them? How would I show that I would be treating them as I would want to be treated? So I think it kind of, changes your kind of thinking of how you treat other people.
Absolutely. That's beautifully put. So, lastly, you're Welsh and you were born in Bangor, right?
Yes.
Yes. Like myself, you've also married an English person. Has that created any problems for you?
Most of the time it's okay. I think it mainly gets heated when it comes to the Six Nations, because obviously I support Wales and then my husband supports England. So if it happens to be the England versus Wales match, that's when we agree to love each other outside of that match. That's when we kind of become a bit of like maybe some enemies. We tell each other at the beginning, I still love you, but not for the next 80 minutes.
Steph, I've known you for a few years now, and it's been an absolute privilege to watch you sort of growing into your power, and you've been really quite something. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're very welcome.